Welcome to this episode of Eureka. Almost about 70 years ago, a 15-year-old boy had to run away from his home, not because of choice, but because of the force, the partition of India. The 15-year-old boy migrated to India, grew up, joined railways, and fathered many children. And one child, he is absolutely sure to be proud, is today the director of National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, Ahmedabad. She is our guest today.
Dr. Kiran Kalia has made a mark in the field of biochemistry. Her continuous hard work and persistence has paid off with her achievements in this domain. She has been awarded the 8th International prestigious Sardar Patel Award 2013. Her area of interest lies in genomic alterations, diabetic retinopathy-nephropathy, Environmental Biotechnology. She took charge of NIPER-Ahmedabad in 2014. Dr. Kalia has made outstanding contributions to Institute and taken it to new heights.
We are very glad to have you here in this program. Thank you for joining us. Can you tell us about your young age? About your father. It's very rare that somebody who just came to India with nothing but perhaps the shirt that he wore could, produce a family of this sort. It should be a important effort. Can you tell us something about it?
I'm really proud of my father and my parents, both of them. They have a lot of struggles in their life. They have a lot of financial constraints, but still, he has a value for education.
Valued the education.
He has valued that education. And this is what he always used to say. I can't give you anything other than education. It is all up to you. Both of them, they have supported our education.
In fact, parents cannot give anything other than love and education.
Other than love and education. And throughout their life, they have given a true support, not only to me, all my younger brother and sisters.
How many people were there, brothers and sisters?
I have 2 younger sisters and 1 younger brother.
Okay.
And I'm proud of all my brother and sisters, what they are doing in life. Yeah. It's all because of my father. We have limitations, but he has always made it a point that we should get new books, new study material.
Just wanted to ask you one question. Your father had a dream for you. Laid out the plan that you should become a doctor.
Yes.
That was a kind of opinion that a lot of people
had. At that time, many parents used to dream as a girl child to become a doctor. And I was also dreaming for it. I worked extremely hard to see that I am in medicine.
Okay.
But it was maybe not destined for me. But I have never given it up.
Okay.
So after my BSc, I thought if I have to join a paramedical area, so I opted for biochemistry. I know that at that time in Lucknow University where I was studying, there were hardly 15 seats for biochemistry. So 15 seats were there.
This was which year?
It is 1977.
1977.
77, long back. And
when biochemistry was just emerging.
Just emerging field, and there were very limited seats for biochemistry. But we worked very hard. We know that the top BScs will opt for biochemistry.
Okay.
So we made it. And I will share it here because I still wanted to go for my medicine.
Okay.
And there were all my friends, they were taking the whole year coaching. And my father at that time, he said, okay, if you want to take a break after BSc, but then you see that you have to come in medicine, or else you will not be able to pursue for your post-graduation. And I couldn't take that risk.
Okay. So you thought that let me pursue
my master's in biochemistry. There are a lot of options, and that was the time I decided I would go for PhD.
So
because I wanted to have that Dr. Kiran Kalia was more important for me.
And also don't lose your hope. If something doesn't come directly, maybe indirectly it will come. For example, you are now working in the area of medicine in some sense.
There are other ways to achieve that. And when I completed my MSc, at that time my mother, she had, angina attack. And I went with her to the medical college. I stayed there almost for a month with her. And I saw the people in medical college. And then I was so happy that I have a different profession.
You have a different profession.
Yeah. So, I never looked back, whatever I have lost.
Yeah,
I
the
have
history
always
is
looking
gone.
forward what is there ahead. That was important for me.
Anyway, history is gone. I mean, you have to only forge the future. I mean, history is, you can't repeat it.
Yes.
I'm sure your father is very proud of you today.
Yes. And I'm very fortunate that I got married to a person who has always supported.
Very good. Just to ask you another question. I mean, after your master's, you entered into a PhD, right? So, where did you do your PhD program from?
I did a PhD from Industrial Toxicology Research Center, which is a CSR institute. And here again is an interesting story. I would share that.
Yeah.
Like when we were in MSc, at that time there was no national entrance exam.
Okay.
It was based upon your MSc marks. You were getting the CSR fellowships.
Yeah.
And there were good CSR institutes in Lucknow. We went to CDRI, ITRC to get our application forwarded. And then we learned that until unless you pass MSc, they are not going to forward that. And we never wanted to lose a year.
Yeah.
So I just straight away went to CDRI and moved to the director's cabin.
You just went into the director's
I just
cabin
went
as a
into
student.
that, as a student.
Okay.
I said no. Then I never had an hesitation. Going to the director's office. So then they asked, "What do you want?" I said, "I just want to meet director." For what? So I said, "I just wanted to see that my applications has been forwarded." And Dr. Nityanand was the director at CDRI.
Dr. Nityanand, yeah.
So then I went to his office. He asked me, "What do you want to do? In what problem you want to do?" We discussed some aspects of biochemistry. As a young student, you have many dreams, many hypothetical, problems to work on.
That's good anyway.
So he really appreciated, and then he signed on my application. And he said, "You go to biochemistry and go to anybody you are interested in." And he forwarded me to Dr. Ghatak, who was working on filariasis.
Okay.
So I went to him. Dr. Ghatak thought I am a very influential person, that whose application is already been signed by the director first. He asked me. I said no. He didn't believe that I have no influence and all kind of thing. And I got my fellowship also. And then, but I was always imagining an institute like ITRC, which was just in front of CDRI. And we approached Dr. Vishwanathan over there.
Okay.
And Dr. Vishwanathan was considered as a, Masiha for all PhD students, you can't.
Yes. I mean, he is a great man.
Great man. So Dr. Vishwanathan also agreed. He says, "Okay, if you will have your fellowship, then I will accept." So then when after getting my fellowship, I joined at ITRC. Later I realized for every small thing I am dependent on CDRI.
Okay.
If I have to go to library, it's a CDRI library. If I have to go for some equipments, most of the equipments are available in CDRI. But both those institutions, they were complementing each other.
Complementing each other and then helping you to grow.
Helping us to grow.
Yeah, we need to take a very small break. We are having a really very interesting conversation, and we are also going to discuss about something very important in contemporary India, diabetics. Don't go away. We'll take a very short break and we'll come back to this discussion. Between 2000 and 2013, the diabetic patients in India doubled. Today, we have something like about 6.4 crore population in India, adult population in India suffering from diabetics. The top 5 countries in the world having diabetics population, India is one among them. You have worked on diabetics and looked at how one can attack that problem, which is a major threat to the public health today in India. I was told there are 3 kinds of problem that can come from diabetics: neuropathy, nephropathy, and retinopathy.
And
Can
these
you
are
explain
the
us?
microvascular. So,
Can you explain us what it is like? What they are,
yeah,
one by one?
actually diabetes is due to the hyperglycemic conditions. And because of this persistent hyperglycemia, there could be two different kind of...
Hypoglycemia means that
There
the
is
level
a
of sugar
increased
in
blood glucose. There could be the increased blood glucose is there due to many other reasons, but one of the major reason is diabetes.
diabetics. Okay.
And it leads to two different complications. One is macrovascular and another is a microvascular. Among the macrovascular complications, the cardiopathy is the major one.
It's a major problem.
And then among the microvascular complication, one is diabetic nephropathy, that is a kidney disorders.
Kidney disorder.
Kidney disorders.
Okay.
And the persistent diabetic nephropathy may lead to the renal failure.
Renal failure. Your kidney may fail.
Kidney may fail.
Yeah.
Or the one of the complication, microvascular complication is diabetic retinopathy.
Retinopathy.
That is, it may lead to the complete blindness of the
What happens during the retinopathy?
retinopathy. There is a damage to the retina, and because of the blood vessels they increase, and then it leads to the damage to the retina and ultimately leads to the retinopathy. And then another is a neuropathy, which is because of damage to the neuronal cells, particularly the peripheral neuronal system. And due to that, many of us, we are, the diabetic individuals are suffering with the numbness of the foot and all.
Numbness of
And
foot. Sometimes you have the burning of the foot.
You have the burning of the foot, and ultimately it may, end up with the amputation of the foot itself.
That is, you may have to remove the foot.
You have to remove the foot itself. And these are the three major microvascular complications are there. Now, if you will see, the mortality due to diabetes is not there.
Not much.
The diabetic individuals, it becomes fatal, it is because of the hypoglycemic condition, because their blood supply to brain is being reduced due to maybe overdosing of those medicines or so on. But it is the hyperglycemic conditions which leads to secondary complications, and these secondary complications are more fatal.
More fatal.
To the, So if it persists for a long period, the patient may go into a coma. So that is the severity of it. And
even if you don't go into coma, for example, if you lose your leg, I mean,
you lose
it's
your
going
leg,
to be,
you lose your vision, you lose your renal functions.
Yeah, you can't live a normal life.
You can't live a normal life.
So, what was your research in that particular area?
My research was, say, in case of, I was interested because 45% of diabetic patients in India, they end up with the diabetic nephropathy.
Nephropathy.
That's a kidney failure.
45%.
45%.
So, almost 1 in 2.
Because, there is no particular reason known. If you will find, most of the individuals, somebody will end up with the neuropathy, somebody will nephropathy, somebody will retinopathy. So, there are certain genetic factors which also governs the diabetic complications.
Okay.
So, I was more interested with the diabetic nephropathy because I was in Gujarat where we have a big kidney hospital was going on. So, there was an access to the diabetic nephropathic patients. We have a collaboration with the Muljibai Kidney Hospital as well as the PS Medical College in Karamsad. Now, in case of nephropathy, what happens? As on today, if you come to know about the nephropathy, the marker is the microalbumin estimation. But microalbumin is being excreted at the late second stage or the early third stage. There are 5 different stages of nephropathy.
You will be able to detect it only when it is almost
when it
incurable.
is already there.
Yeah, okay.
It is at the late second stage. So, I was interested that if we come to know at an early stage, at the stage 1 or even before, so that the patients can be given a proper preventive measures.
Yeah.
So, you can delay the onset of nephropathy.
So, instead of getting it in middle age like 40 or 45,
so you can delay.
You delay it to 70 or 75.
So, it is very essential to know. So, we were interested to find out a prognostic marker for diabetic nephropathy.
Okay, prognostic marker means, some indication which will tell you that it is going to come or probability is there. Yes, okay.
So, you are going to end up. So, our group we were working for certain genomic or proteomic marker. So the genomic markers will tell you the susceptibility, that whether you are prone to diabetic nephropathy or retinopathy or so on. So that is due to the genetic makeup of an individual. So we were working on a genomic marker of an Indian population.
For Indian population.
Indian population.
Because this kind of a study from other places may not be of such
yes.
use to India.
There are many microarrays and systems are available, established systems are available for detecting the susceptibility. That is what I am talking about, the genomic markers for susceptibility to diabetic complications. But since we are different, ethnically different population, it is essential that we should have such kind of study for our own population, and create a data or create an information for that.
And you have had a very important role in that.
We added some of the genomic markers particularly in Western Indian population, because we were placed in Gujarat, so we were looking for our population. Okay, because as we know, in India, the Dravidian and the Aryan origin are there. So there are two genetically different populations, broader populations.
And you are studying in one of them?
One of them, that is the Aryan origin in Gujarat.
With the western coast of India.
And we were also looking for some proteomic markers, that is a low molecular weight urinary markers. Because if I tell you a little bit about if you have a kidney structure, there are nephrons, and in the nephrons it is the tubular and the basement membrane which gets damaged first. So first is a tubular damage, and then the basement membrane, and then the glomerular damage comes at a later stage. So microalbumin is due to the glomerular damage. So we were interested, what are the markers if you can detect the tubular or the basement membrane damage. There we were found out that yes, there are certain enzymatic markers are there, and there are certain low molecular weight proteins which are less than 50 kDa, which can easily be excreted in the urine.
So you can test the urine and then check out whether that is there or not.
Yes, we had a long longitudinal study of patients, and then we have seen over a period of time, we were carrying those patients, that is a longitudinal study has been conducted to establish some of the prognostic markers, that is a low molecular weight.
That's very interesting, and we are discussing very exciting and important information, but unfortunately we need to take a very small break. Don't go away, we'll continue this discussion, we'll take a small break. Welcome back to this episode of Eureka. We are having a very interesting conversation with Dr. Kiran Kalia, who is the Director of National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research in Ahmedabad. You have had so many awards. What sticks in your mind?
I think the most interesting award or the powerful award.
Something that moved you?
Yes, that was the President Guide Award when I was studying in class 11th.
Class 11th?
Yes.
President Guide Award?
Yes.
For Scouts?
I was a girl guide, and it was conferred by then President of India, Shri V. Giri. So I think my being as a girl guide from the class 5th to class 11th has really made me to learn a lot. And that has actually empowered me.
Some amount of discipline, some amount of perseverance.
Yes, some amount of discipline and perseverance and motivation. And I can do it kind of a figure,
And this award kind of crowned that feeling.
That was really a very, very prestigious award.
Then if we talk about some other award?
And then at a later stage of my life, in 2014, when I was awarded with the Women Empowerment Award of Sardar Patel.
2014?
2014.
Women Empower Award of Sardar Patel.
Sardar Patel.
Excellent. You are now heading an institute of national importance, National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research. What does this institute stand for? What do you do here?
Actually, these NIPERs, earlier there was one NIPER, Mohali, which was supporting the pharma education and research. In 2007, the Government of India thought that they wanted to have a national level institution for pharma education at par with the IITs which are there for the engineering staff. So these institutions can give up an excellent human resource to the pharmaceutical industry.
So basically capacity building for pharmaceutical
Capacity
industry.
building as well as the research. So now if you see the Indian pharma has done excellent in generic medicines.
Okay. Chemical based
We are the
medicine.
number 3, we are the number 3 in the world market. But now the pharma industry is entering into a biopharma.
Okay.
We have to have
So
our
basically
own
biotechnology based, biomic based.
biosimilars and biopharma based. That is a new trend of pharmaceutical industry.
So your institute is kind of leading us to that path.
Leading us to a world level excellence research so that we can support our pharmaceutical industry and giving us some good new molecules in biopharma.
This your institutes, I mean your institute in Ahmedabad and sister institutes elsewhere. What kind of programs you offer?
See, when we started initially, we started with 3 different disciplines in 2007, and then later on in 2010, 3 more were added, and 2011 we were we have started a MS course on medical devices, which is asset to NIPER-Ahmedabad, and we are mandated to become a national center for medical devices. But apart from these medical devices, we have MS program in natural product, in medicinal chemistry, in pharmaceutical chemistry, and in biotechnology, pharmacology and toxicology, and pharmaceutical analysis, and of course one important is the pharmaceutics.
Pharmaceutics itself.
Yeah, pharmaceutics itself. So
The
right
basics.
now we have 7 disciplines.
7 disciplines.
But altogether NIPER, if I talk about the NIPER Mohali, we have 15 discipline program which are going on in different NIPERs.
So about 15 different
Courses.
MS courses are going on in different NIPERs, and then some people can also join your institute for PhD work.
Yes, the students who come into NIPER, they come through a national entrance exam.
Okay.
So all the B Pharma clarified students, they first give the GPAT exam, and GPAT qualified students, they write the NIPER national entrance exam.
And through that they can join.
We have a common counseling for all the NIPERs. So based upon the student's choice and the courses which are being offered by different NIPERs, they choose the courses.
This is very interesting. Lastly, I want to ask you one question, which is, you are a member of a number of scientific academies.
Yeah.
I was just looking at them. One of them is Organization of Women Scientists in Developing World. Yes. It's an international organization based in Italy. I'm just curious.
Yes, this is one organization where we meet the women at one platform from all different countries.
From different fields.
Different fields, different countries, starting from humanities, in geography and science and every field, medicine, engineering. And I remember my last summit what I have attended in 2010 in Beijing. And the government of different countries, they take a special interest and bringing all women. India has also hosted one such thing, because all different countries they host it. And it's a very, very different experience to see the women at that platform.
Okay.
And they also support some kind of a research funding. They also they have an award for the students and the faculty, like any other organization.
See, if you look at India, I mean, I go around different institutions, I interact with a number of scientific bodies as part of this program. One gross estimate one can do is that out of different S&T institutions in India, maybe 5 to 6% as women as director, which shows really a very pathetic condition, right? So what do you think about it?
For women, the path may be little difficult than as it is for men. But the path is not easy for both.
Yeah. Scientific findings
Scientific findings and, the motivation in life, how you take life, how you move forward. But it is the hard work. my perception is there is no shortcut in life and there is no replacement of hard work.
It's an important point that you have made. There is no shortcut in life, it's a hard work. Women have more confidence. And parents, for example, like her father and mother, do provide support to your girl child. That's, I suppose, some of the key messages maybe from this Eureka program that we can tell to our audience. Thank you. Thank you for being with us in this program. It was a very excellent conversation. I learned a lot. It was a very moving experience. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you.